Okay, welcome back. To the array method video series. So I'm going to work on these last two methods, zero odds and reverse. And so let's go ahead and get started, and we'll talk about, you'll notice these method headers are different. One's a void method, one's not. So we'll talk about that a little bit. Let's see if I can copy these method headers. Go to my array methods program. Doesn't matter where I put them, but I seem to want to put them at the bottom. So I will. So for zero odds, this is a void method, and so I think in the next video I'll do one more video for this, and I'll show you, hopefully I can show you in the debugger a little bit how this works. But so I am going to actually be changing the array that was passed to me. So this is something that we can do with objects that are passed to us. And so it's a hard concept to truly understand, but just know that when you are passed an array to a method, you have the ability to change the elements in this parameter. Whereas if this were up here, this is simply an integer target. I'm not going to change the calling thing. So again, over here in array tester somewhere, here I called get index and I passed a -5, or I called count all and I passed a -5. So for the array nums, I will actually, I can actually change it when I receive it as ARR. I can actually change it. But with this -5 and the method, since it's a primitive, the method isn't going to change the -5 in the calling program. So a little hard to understand, but I am going to actually pass the variable that was, I'm going to actually change the array that was passed to me for zero odds. I'm not for reverse. Okay, so zero odds, I'm supposed to go through the elements, and any one that is odd, I'm supposed to change it to a 0. So I think I'm actually going to go up and copy my count evens, except I'm already realizing that my problem with my count evens is that it uses a for each loop. And when I want to change things, and indeed I want to be able to change the elements to a 0, I need the index. So that's not going to work as great as I wanted. So I'm going to delete count odds. I'm going to delete return. It's a void method. I don't return a value. And I'm actually going to, I guess I could go copy one of the regular traditional for loops. Yep. I'll just copy that. Where's my zero odds? Here it is. And so I can no longer use this notation. I'm going to have to change that to be ARRI. But I'm getting closer. So now this is checking if it's even. So I'm merely going to change it to a not equal 0 to check if it's odd. So not equal 0 is preferred to asking if it equal -1 or equal 1. Because it could equal -1. So just saying not equal 0 is a smoother way to check if it's odd. Okay, so if the number's odd, I don't want to count it. I want to change it to be a 0. So there we go. I don't need to return anything or count anything or do anything else. I'm just going to zero out these odds. I think I will comment out this header, so I can go test the zero odds. I'm going to compile this program. Sometimes you have to compile these manually. And here's all my zero odds. Uncomment that. And notice this, where it calls the zero odds, and then it's going to show me nums2 after those changes have been made. So here's nums2. 8 and 2 are the only evens, and you can see here that all the odds got changed. Okay, so now if I go work on that reverse, we'll talk about how reverse is different. So reverse is different. It returns a new array. So it even says returns a new array. So what that means to me in my code is that I'm going to be creating a whole new array. And since I'm supposed to reverse the elements that are in this array, I'm going to call it rev arr to reverse array. And so here's the new array part. I'm going to make a new array. And since I'm reversing the elements in here, the new array is going to be the same length as the old array. So I can use that. So I'm going to do some stuff to fill that array, but at the end I'm going to return it. And so you can already see that making a new array and returning it is different than what I did up here. So the goal with one like this, where you're returning a new array, is to not change this one you were passed. So, okay, so in the example, I still have it down here. If I were to reverse this, I want the -3 to go first, I want the 5 to go second in this new array. So one of the arrays I'm kind of going to be going forwards in, right? So nums2, I'm going to set up that loop, the traditional for loop, to just go forwards through the array. And so, oops, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. So this gives me, oh, that's not what I want. This gives me the index values for this array, and it's going to allow me, if I was past the nums2 array, it's going to allow me to go forwards through this. So I will get the 8 first. And keep in mind that for the new array, and I can maybe write it up here, if ARR is 8, 7, 2, 5, -3, then rev ARR is, I'm going to get these so they're close together, is going to be the reverse of that, which would be -3, 5, 2, 7, 8. So we could get fancy with our algorithm and try to figure out how to do all this reverse, but I am simply, and remember both of these have index values that are numbered 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But you'll notice that index 4 for this array is going to have a different value than index 4 of this array. So again, I'm going to have the for loop go forwards 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 for this. And I'm going to set up a separate index. And when I say for loop go through, I mean I'm giving the index value to go through 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to make a separate variable for the rev array, a separate one for its index, and I'm going to start that one at 4 and go backwards down to 0. So remember, I need the index to access the things, so that when I get the first thing, when I is 0, I will put it in the last thing here. So the trickiest part with that is, so I'm going to call that rev index, right? That'll keep it. And I could even call this one ARR index if I wanted. Should we do that? So I will know that this is the index for this array. Rev index is the index for that one. So this will be ARR index and ARR index. So in my loop, I'm just simply going to take the thing from here and I'm going to put it in the last box here. So I need to start the rev index at the last valid index. Now remember, my length is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so I need index 4. And the way I get that is to say either rev array length or array length. So remember, this array's length and this array's length are the same for this example. So I need length, but I need to do -1 to give me a 4 instead of a 5. So I'm going to start that one at 4. And so now what I want to put in this new array at its index is from the old array at our index, which is going to start at 0. So the first time I come in, this index is a 4, and this one is a 0. And what I want to happen is then I want that 4 next time around. When this is a 1, I want this to be a 3. And then when this is a 2, that will be 2. So this will be going down for rev array, and the index values will be going up, and that's how I can use them. So the one piece I'm missing here is that I need to make this one go down. So this for loop is handling everything for this array. It's starting it at 0, making it go up by 1, watching the length, but I need the rev index to go down for each iteration of the loop. Okay, so if I compile this, then I can go over to the tester, and we will comment this, uncomment this, and you'll notice that in this case, because I'm not supposed to change the original, I show it, I show the original and I show the reverse copy, and so this is supposed to be unchanged this time, whereas here, nums2 got changed, right? So run this. And so here we can see that here's the original array left intact from what it was at the very beginning. And then I called the reverse method here, and I stored this new array that got sent back into a new array variable. And when I print that array variable, or the array contents, it is now reverse order from this. And we have written our methods successfully that even if that array size changed, I would be okay because there's no hard-coded, I didn't hard-code the 4 or the 0 or the 5 for the length. I'm using the length to make this more robust for any size array. So I think I'll do one more video on debugging, so I guess I might see you in the next video.